Now I'm gonna do a video about a Fiddler slave, Fiddler, who don't act thuggish, but just smart, but choose to be dumb. Dr. Bean Carson. I know I'm Papa House. I know I'm getting in trouble. I don't care. Mr. Carson, you said that our African descended ancestors, because you know people of African descent are not pure black. We are mixed with black, white, and American descendants, and many of us are, some are Asian. And then, of course, Hispanics are a mixture of those three races, some don't want to mix it, okay? And, they're from Latin America. Of course, we have other Spanish origin. It's not nothing to do with Latin America, triracial, and Afro-Mestizo mixture. But in this part of the country, I'm gonna speak on my African descent and mixed heritage. Okay, as African American, French, English, Spanish, Creole, Irish, and English Native American man, the only immigrants that were, and sometimes I'd make that mistake too by saying, no, I know my Africans came here by boats and ships, but not by choice. They were forced and kidnapped. Okay, but when we talk about illegal immigration or something like that, I'll bring that up to try to shut the people up about bashing illegal immigration, which ain't got nothing to do with this conversation, but that's another topic. But in truth, our African ancestors were not immigrants. They were forced to be in America. And they went through the transatlantic slave trade. I know I'm getting your friends. Well, they sold each other. Of course, I bash both the European and the African. Since I'm the mixture of the two, well, besides Native American, I bash both parties involved. Okay? But in America, there was no African man controlling this country. Let's get that straight. So you can't make that argument here. Majority of slave masters were white, regardless of form of color, of whether it be Native American or either partial or pure African. They were free to own slaves. They were the minority. Majority were white. Okay, they were not immigrants. They were forced to be here. It's very despicable of you, brother, to say that argument. You being being the step inflection for the White House, and I call it like it is. In our Native American ancestors' land, our African ancestors built this country on the backs without no pay, not little, without being forced, being mistreated on the plantation, being sold to different other masters, so-called masters, because only one God's master. None of these people they could try to be, but never try their best to. Just like the people who both made the tower, the big old thing to go to heaven, they got knocked down, right? In the Old Testament, you know what I'm talking about, Tower Bible, whatever it's called. Okay, point is, Babel, yeah, thank you. Point is, the problem is with you, brother. You're very uneducated on that, or you choosing to be dumb. And we're many of us offended because our African ancestors did not choose to be here. And I know some folks that say we can go back. We built, our African ancestors built this country, but not by choice. And also they mixed with three races. Mixing of the mixed heritage. The only immigrants were white. And they invented illegal immigration, particularly Columbus, and also the Mayflower. And that's a person who traced my roots to England. I can say that. And to you, to even say that, it makes you so silly. Don't forget that they had slave auctions, treat them like animals when they're human beings, being raped. Yes, there were interracial marriages. When my white cousin, long distance cousin, Medea Bacon, who had the Bacon Rebellion, when the poor whites who were the insurgents, yes, that was legal, they were seeing them, but when they got together and burned the Virginia Capitol and lost that rebellion, the wealthy ones, the ones Donald Trump represent, separate the two. As I always say, that white people who are poor, who vote for Trump and try to be racist, you don't benefit nothing. Okay? And they made eating racial in Virginia illegal. And they started making blood quantities and similar to one drop rule. If it's the mama of the slave, you a slave, and then later on became the one drop rule later on. And there was raping. Besides, they had butt breaking. Okay, it seemed to me you probably fit to be a butt breaker. or participated in the pimp image of that as well. Well, slave masters was having children, sleeping with children. Talking about immorality and gay marriage and all other stuff. Excuse me. We are products of that. We need to let the folks know that. Do not be ashamed. You didn't commit the crime. The ones who did are probably burning somewhere in hell somewhere. Okay? Because these folks forget their history. They didn't repeat it. They got rapes played out there as porn. Ain't nothing to laugh at. It's pitiful. And you sit here and make the immigrant claim. Immigrant? Well, if you're an immigrant, my question is, what part of Africa, since you claim to be black, 100% we know we're not pure black, are you from? What do you know? What tribe? Do you know what? You don't know nothing of that. So actually, you're just being ignorant. And it's stupid to say that. And they had slave auctions. They had all these abuses. They had folks cutting necks off, heads off, feet off, hands off, being beaten if they fight against the master, distort the Bible, like St. Peter said in Scripture, in their own destruction. They did all those evil things, and they didn't get nothing. Nothing. That's not an immigrant situation. No immigrant. The only dream they had was to get out the plantation and be free. And when they did win in the blue, the Yankee Northern Army won and beat the South. That's why the rebel flag is stupid to be flying right now. Okay, the Confederate flag. They still had some issue with that too, which they don't consider. They created Jim Crow. That Jew was born at the time, right, brother? So if they were immigrants and all this was going on and slavery had ended and Jim Crow was another version of slavery, should I say, then my question is to you, brother. Immigrants, how does an immigrant tell? There's nothing immigrant about that. And if you're an immigrant, then why are you not visiting the country you came from? If you know what part of Africa, we don't even know that. And so the thing is that you butt dancing for Trump is so stupid. So stupid. Keep on kissing the Trump when he slap you in the face. Don't come asking for help. Let me let you know, I get tired of some of our people begging for, no, please, don't beg for Carson change. When these folks are cooning, you got to accept them for who they are and go to the next person who's going to help us. That's the type of I'm not wasting them and make somebody change for me. This dude is ignorant. Very ignorant to be an educated man, to choose to be ignorant. Nothing immigrant about slavery, brother. It was forced, it was brutal, it was inhumane, it was immoral. Look at the world and come in. Look at we didn't hear no Illuminati stories then. Did we hear now? See, like after when people get away from that type of so-called norm, which is not normal what they did, then folks start talking about the world coming to end junk. But where was the world coming to end? When all this slavery and immoral and sexual immorality is raping, because they were doing the boys too, and the men too, back in the day, butt breaking and doing all that, and forcing slaves to sleep with each other, which that's why we have the gender divide within our community. Besides the William Lynch situation, it's very true. Okay, well, forget about that. It did make black exactly. No one didn't have a choice to sleep with whatever. But you had no business to talk to, brother. You sound stupid. Yeah, immigrant. Since if we're African ancestors were immigrants, where was their green card? Where was their visa? They didn't have none of that. They was not even considered American and not even human. Know your history, brother. So I just glad this happened to let you know that we need to not even consider just working with Carson. It's stupid enough to hear brother people. Since you serve Trump and you do whatever he say, yeah, you be that so-called immigrant slave and be a good one too, okay? But don't try to talk to us. As I say, I don't even want nothing to do with you. Bye. You ain't call my brother. Stupid idiot.